There was once a man named Thomas, a friendly and talkative fellow who everyone in town knew. He always had big dreams: to start a business, buy a house, travel the world. But somehow those dreams never moved beyond words. Thomas was not lazy, nor was he unintelligent. His problem was simple yet devastating. He lived on borrowed time, borrowed things, and borrowed money. Every step he took toward his goals was built not on effort, but on debt. Whenever he saw someone succeed, instead of learning from them, he found ways to borrow what they had: money, ideas, or even credibility. For Thomas, borrowing felt like progress. It gave him temporary relief, a sense of movement without the hard work of building something real. At first, people trusted him. He borrowed small amounts, promising to repay soon. And sometimes he did, but always using another borrowed coin. His charm made people overlook his pattern. When his friends invested their savings, he borrowed from them to start his own ventures. But those ventures never took off because they were never built on ownership or commitment. Every time something failed, Thomas blamed circumstances: the market, the timing, or bad luck. He didn't realize that his biggest problem wasn't lack of opportunity, it was lack of foundation. He was like a man building castles on sand, expecting them to stand through storms. Years went by, and his debts grew. The lenders who once smiled at him began avoiding his calls. The friends who once helped him began to see through the excuses. Yet Thomas continued living as if everything was fine. He borrowed to buy clothes he couldn't afford, threw parties to maintain an image of success, and spoke of big plans that never existed. Deep down, he feared facing the truth, that he had built nothing of his own. Borrowing had become his way of escaping effort, but also his greatest trap. Each loan was a chain, and every favor he took without returning was a brick in his own prison. One day, everything changed. Thomas approached an old friend, Daniel, for yet another loan. But instead of money, Daniel gave him advice. He said, "Thomas, you keep borrowing what others worked for. You think you're moving forward, but you're running in circles. Borrowed money may solve your today, but it steals your tomorrow." Those words cut deep. For the first time, Thomas couldn't argue back. He looked around and realized that everyone who once helped him had moved on. They had built businesses, homes, and stability, while he had nothing but promises. He began to feel the weight of his choices, the years he had lost chasing comfort instead of growth. Determined to change, Thomas made a bold decision: no more borrowing. The first few months were brutal. Without easy money, he had to work harder than ever before. He sold what little he had to pay off small debts, took a low-paying job, and learned to live within his means. The same people who once doubted him watched as he humbled himself. It wasn't easy, but for the first time in his life, Thomas felt free. Every small purchase made with his own money gave him pride. Every goal achieved through discipline felt more meaningful than any borrowed luxury. Slowly, he began saving, investing, and rebuilding his reputation. Years later, Thomas was a different man. He didn't own a mansion or luxury car, but what he had was solid, built with his own effort, not someone else's credit. When young people came to him for advice, he told them, "Borrowing can help you once, but building helps you forever. The moment you live off others, you stop living for yourself." His story became a reminder that borrowing isn't evil, but dependence is. True wealth is not how much you can borrow, it's how much you can build without it. In the end, Thomas learned that independence is the greatest form of wealth. You can't borrow discipline, effort, or time. These must be earned. And once you start building from within, the world starts to respect you, not for what you borrowed, but for what you created. His journey showed that the path from debt to dignity begins with a single decision: to stop borrowing and start building. If this story inspired you or made you think differently about money and responsibility, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone who needs this lesson. Remember, borrowed wealth fades, but built wealth lasts forever.